Lord, we're gonna make a joyful noise. Noise! To the Lord, all the earth, make a noise. Noise! To the Lord, we're gonna make a joyful noise. Noise! To the Lord, all the earth, make a noise. Noise! To the Lord. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come into His presence with singing, singing, singing. Whoa, singing, singing, singing. Whoa, singing, singing, singing. Whoa, singing, singing, singing. Whoa.
All right, Risers. Now you've heard us make some noise. Let's hear you make some noise. Go!
Make a joyful noise. Noise! To the Lord, all the earth, make a noise. Noise! To the Lord, we're gonna make a joyful noise. Noise! To the Lord, all the earth, make a noise. Noise! To the Lord, we're gonna make a joyful noise. Noise! To the Lord, all the earth, make a noise. Noise! To the Lord. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come into His presence with singing, singing, singing. Whoa, singing, singing, singing. Whoa, singing, singing, singing. Whoa, singing, singing, singing. Whoa.
Okay, Risers. Are you guys ready to rock it out for Jesus?
Singing, singing, singing. Whoa, singing, singing, singing. Whoa, singing, singing, singing. Whoa, singing, singing, singing. Whoa.
Psalm 100, 1 and 2. Psalm 100, 1 and 2. Yeah. Psalm 100, 1 and 2. Psalm 100, 1 and 2. Yeah. Psalm 100, 1 and 2. Psalm 100, 1 and 2. Yeah. Psalm 100, 1 and 2. Psalm 100, 1 and 2. Yeah.
Let's make some noise.
Make a joyful noise to the Lord, to the Lord. What a wonderful song. That's a new one we're introducing to you there from a group called the Rizers, putting Psalm 100 verses 1 and 2 to music. So I hope you enjoyed that. We'll probably hear that again. Anyway, hello, welcome to Promiseland. If you don't know, my name's Nev, and it's nice to see you again if you're returning. Today we're going to carry on what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks, where we've been looking at a story from the Bible, or as we call it, God's big story. And we've been learning the part of God's big story from the Old Testament, from the story of Joshua. Can everyone say Joshua? That's right. And today we're going to continue that story. But before we get into this, we're going to start today with game time! Yes, we are, because I wanted us to start with a bit of fun that involves something you might have to get in a minute. So you might have to get a couple of things. Firstly, you're going to need some sort of blanket or duvet or sheet. And you're going to need a bunch of soft toys if you've got some, or something similar. And this is called river crossing. Can you say river crossing? And what you do for this game is this. If you have enough people, hopefully you will, you can have two people who hold onto your blanket or your sheet. And if you're, say, in your lounge, for example, then you stand right across the middle, one holding the other, and the two people holding it have to flap it, just keep flapping it. And imagine, say you've got a sofa on this side and another chair or sofa on that side. You're in the middle of the room, and the idea of this game is that whilst this is flapping, the people who aren't flapping it have to pick up some soft toys, and they have to throw their toy so it lands onto the blanket, which is a fast flowing river. Whoa, a river in stormy season, and the toy bounces, 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 and the people flapping it have got to bounce the toy across to the other side. So the toys, the little people, get from one side of this river, boing, to the other. They might bounce off and go back that way, so you've got to keep them going. And you can throw on as many as you like. Bounce toys, bounce toy, whoa, bounce toy. Oh, you went the wrong way. Bounce toy. See how many you can get across from one side of the river to the other. Then if you do it, you can swap who flaps this, and you can see how quickly you do it within the time limit. You've got a few minutes to play this game. Hope that made sense. If not, just make it up as you go. Off you go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that game and had some fun playing it. And as that game I hopefully explained was supposed to represent a fast flowing river. Imagine trying to cross a big river. Now that might have been quite easy, I don't know, but imagine trying to cross, some of you know the River Thames, which is near us in Putney. Imagine trying to cross over that when it's stormy and it's rainy. You can't easily cross it. Well, Joshua, as we've been learning about the last couple of weeks, we know he had to lead the people of Israel. And this was thought to be probably over 2 million people, a lot of people. And he had to get them into the Promised Land. Can you say Promised Land? Yes, which was the other side of the River Jordan. Everyone say Jordan. And so to get them across, how is he going to get them? There was no bridge. He couldn't swim. It was much too fast a river and it was in flood season. So God was going to have to help Joshua to know exactly what to do to get all of the people from one side of the river to the other. Should we find out how it happened? We're going to find out. It's from Joshua chapters 3 and 4. So let's watch now and find out what happens in this part of the story.
This is Joshua.
Hello.
Joshua was the leader of the Israelites, who God would use to take his people into the Promised Land.
Yeah, let's do it.
Joshua readied his people to cross the Jordan River, which was the only thing dividing the Israelites from the land that God had promised to them.
All right. Right here. Okay.
They camped beside the river for 3 days, waiting, just as the Lord had commanded them. At this time of year, the Jordan River was flooded and flowing with so much water that it was impossible to cross on foot.
And then the Lord said, "Let there be light." Hey, priest.
Yeah.
Come on.
God told Joshua to tell the people that the priests would carry the Ark of the Covenant and lead the people through the water. He told the priests to step into the rushing waters.
Wait. Huh?
And when they would do this, the waters would stop flowing.
Alright.
And as soon as the priests did this, the water of the Jordan River did stop flowing.
Yeah.
And the priests stood with the Ark of the Covenant on dry ground as the Israelites crossed to the other side.
All right.
God told Joshua to send 12 men from the 12 tribes of Israel
Go get it.
to take 12 stones from the place that the priests were standing. When all this had been finished as God commanded, Joshua called the priests from the Jordan.
We're good. Come on.
As their feet left the Jordan River, the waters came back into place, just as they had been.
Wow. Yeah.
They brought their stones to their camp and set them as a memorial, so future generations might remember the story of how God brought his people through the Jordan River on dry ground.
Well, what a wonderful part of the story. In that we saw, how did Joshua get all the people across? Well, he had to trust in God and God's plan, which was this: for the priest to pick up that ark and then to step into the river. And only when they stepped into the river, the Jordan, when their feet touched it, it parted, it stopped. All the river stopped up one end and it was clear for them to go through. Wasn't that amazing? And then God said, take 12 stones and bring them through to the other side and stack them up as a reminder, you see, because sometimes God does amazing things in our lives and sometimes we can just forget about them years on. And so it's good to remember the good things God has done for us in our lives and good to remember what he has done by looking at his Bible, God's big story. So what I want you to do now is something together at home where you are, and it's this. I want you to make your very own tower of 12, a stack of 12, and it could be cushions or it could be blocks, play blocks that you've got, or it could be books. So I'm going to use books here. So imagine you've got to take a book and then I want you to take another book, stack it on, and then take another book, stack it on, or whatever you're using as your stones until you get a pile of 12. So that's your challenge. But before you place each one, I want you to do something. I want you to think of something amazing that God has done that you can thank him for. So you might take the first one. Before you lay it, you've got to say, I want to remember and thank God that he made the world. Boom. And then you think of another one. I want to thank God and remember that He helped us when we were moving house. So it might be lots of different things, whatever it is to you, and then each time you stack them up until you've got 12. Once you've done that, hopefully there'll be enough time, if not you can pause the video, and I want you to just spend a few moments thanking God together, praying for all the things that you mentioned on those stack of 12 that you made. So make a pile of 12 stones or something like stones with what you can find. Thank God for something for each one, and then pray and thank God at the end of that time, and then we'll come back together. So have fun. So I hope you got on okay making your stack of 12. Did you manage to balance them all? And did you remember wonderful things about God that He has done? We see, whenever, if ever, we are tempted to doubt God and fear God and go, oh God, I don't know if you're there or if you're going to help me in this situation or that, it's good to remind ourselves of what God has done in the past. And one of the greatest stones that we can remember, the greatest things we can remember is Jesus. It says in the Bible that Jesus is our cornerstone. Can you say cornerstone? Which means we build our lives on Jesus now, and we remember that Jesus died for us so that we could come to God. It's like He parts that way, that sin, the stuff that gets in the way, that we can come through to God, like the Israelites crossed over and came into the Promised Land. So that's why we always remember to read the Bible, to remind ourselves of the wonderful things God has done. And as they went through the Jordan, I imagine they probably still felt scared, even though they may have trusted God was with them. But remember, it says in the Bible, in the book of Isaiah, Fear not, God says, for I am with you. So we're going to sing this song now, which is a verse from Isaiah 41, which we've done before, and then see how much of it you can remember at the end.
Isaiah 41:10.
Well, what a wonderful verse that is. Now I'm going to give you 45 seconds to tell one another how much of that verse you can remember. Isaiah 41 verse 10. Great, okay, I want everyone to stand up on your feet. Are you ready? Are you standing? Okay, I want you to go and touch a window. Go! Did you do it? Okay, now I want you to touch a door. Go! Okay, now I want you to touch 2 cushions. Go! And now I want you to touch 3 heads. If you haven't got that many heads, then touch your own head twice or 3 times. And I want you to spin around, jump twice. Well done, and say blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're going to finish our time together now that you're up on your feet, hopefully. With this song, I want you to sing it out, do the actions called I'm Trusting You, God. It's one we've sung quite a few times before, but it speaks about how we trust in God. And there's a line in it that talks about going through valleys. If I'm going through a valley, I'm still trusting in you, God. Just like Joshua and the Israelites, they went through the Jordan River. It probably felt a bit like a valley when they dipped down. So let's sing this song together now.
Wherever you lead me, I'm gonna what's next. I wanna face this world with wonder and excitement. Face every challenge, every test. Wherever you lead me, I'm gonna follow. I'm trusting you, God, you are good. Life will be crazy, wild and amazing. I'm trusting you, God, you are good. Wherever you lead me, I'm gonna follow. I'm trusting you, God, you are good. Life will be crazy, wild and amazing. I'm trusting you, God, you are good. Walk through the valley, climb mountains high. Wherever we go, Lord, you are good. Can't hold me back now, I'm gonna fly. Wherever we go, Lord, you are good. Walk through the valley, climb mountains high. Wherever we go, Lord, you are good. Can't hold me back now, I'm gonna fly. Wherever we go, Lord, you are good. I wanna live each day like anything can happen. Can't hardly wait to see what's next. I wanna face this world with wonder and excitement. Face every challenge, every test. Wherever you lead me, I'm gonna follow. I'm trusting you, God, you are good. Life will be crazy, wild and amazing. I'm trusting you, God, you are good. Wherever you lead me, I'm gonna follow. I'm trusting you, God, you are good. Life will be crazy, wild and amazing. I'm trusting you, God, you are good. I'm trusting you, God, you are good. I'm trusting you, God, you are good.
Great. Well, I want to encourage you in the coming week, perhaps, maybe each day you want to have a go at that stacking challenge we did earlier where you make a little pile of books or things. Maybe you could think of something each day as you're having breakfast together and say, thank you, God, for. Give thanks to God for something, remembering some of the great things that God has done for you. Well, that's all we've got time for today, but I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.